So your son on twin flame, it's difficult to come to it, to approach it, and to grasp it. And I don't want to talk about what happened. I want to talk about my current understandings regarding twin flames, regarding the problems that we are facing within this, where the responsibility over the other and over yourself, or vice versa, is obsolete. And whatever I had figured or processed need to be perhaps processed again on a deeper level and a much more responsible level, maybe one more effective level. So the name of this video will be Fear of Women, Fear of Men. And it is very easy to collect stuff and evidence to help establish the fear of women, of the, women afraid of men and men afraid of women, and perhaps sometimes the same, afraid of the same, it's the daughter of the mother and the son of the father. This also exists very much. So the fear that can go in so many directions. In my case, it's fear of people who are compromised by the system, that would play by the system, that would be governed and obeying the system and imposing the the system over their children in every way possible, thinking that they are good parents and they are good citizens. Eventually, just one fear, and then there is, the fear of the zombie apocalypse, industrial era that started perhaps 200 years ago, and it was planned to enslave people to the system, to the machines, to devices, and have people dependent on means to achieve something and not get to it by themselves. So the means overcame the individual as inspiration, and now the individual inspiration is mostly dead. And there is a big debate about which system to take now. Yeah, so this is another matter. The problem that I'm facing is they inherited the fear in women afraid of men and men afraid of women, which I can say some of what I experience is fear of women. And there is, first of all, discrimination, social, heavy, strict discrimination to groups where men, where children, boys and girls were brought up and educated about different things in different ways, in different social environments, socializing in different ways, segregated socializing, restrictive groups of women and exclusive groups of men. So you have men grouping, you have women grouping to establish their, I'll say, false authority over whatever they took. And the results usually always disasters, because grouping disagreements with people Doesn't help nothing, doesn't help the children, it doesn't help anybody, doesn't help the industry to grow in a natural way, in an organic way. Everything is thoughtful, and it needs another means to get to reach something, and you get mixed up in between the means that you have acquired, and now you ask yourself, why am I here? Oh, so the answer maybe come to you by enlightenment, and you find why you are here in full sense of it, and then maybe you are inclined to meet somebody who would uh, uplift you further in in ways which will then contradict my inherited difficulties. Um, so now I'm challenged by this situation, how to cross over and bridge between two people who knows who they are, yet they cannot perhaps disclose themselves in full meaning of it. First of all, uh, the barriers need to be processed, perhaps redefined, why, where the barriers put, and how long this prevention from good life, from uh, connecting with a real partner, with a twin flame. In my case, what is the difficulties? What is the fear of me, and what is my fear of women in general, and why would each of us would fall into their general category so easily? In many cases, in my case, I don't meet her in person, so all my convictions and her convictions would come through a small device that doesn't help very much to understand and to convey certain, out of the box standpoints, which could be helpful, but it's very hard to convey through this device. Meeting takes traveling, it takes staying in another place. All this is not in my pocket. So it broke up. It broke up, and now we are both kind of departing, trying to get away from which we had in the first encounter that took over a year, that we were trying to cross, or trying to relate, or trying to get closer. Still, our inherited and other things stood in the way. So for this, I'm now in the, could say, afterlife, in the period of separation for real, which is I've started to dig into this prevention, psychological prevention, coming to a table with a preset ready, and putting the cards on the table, and now you have your deck in front of you, and now you check. But meanwhile, now you check. But meanwhile, there's nothing happening. You're just playing with your own projections. I was not projecting. I'm a practical person. If you ask me for projection, I can give you a projection for another 2-3 years. It just pops up in my mind. But in this case, because it's a relationship, I cannot project, because the projection is mutual, is a united projection. So to reach a point where we can project together, that's a very special thing. It's very rare, even in business, that people come to a point where they project together. So much of the twin flame relations, like every relations today, is depending on finance, and you calculate yourself what you could do, what you couldn't do, and there's no end to calculation, no way out. other than redemption. So both of us went deep into redemption and tried to promote it. Eventually, what happened uh, is she stayed with the initial level, and I went into business because I was in business before, and I understand this how this new world that is dependent on your initiative. So I made making up a kind of ideas how to progress, which all this progressive idea comes also, although in the second category under twin flame, because it existed before. I put to resolve this wrong market situation. I was I was assigned to do it the minute I understood the market, how it worked, and what could be the solution. So I'm creating solution on the fly. But in this case, it's not a fly really. And I was looking into the inherited problems that we are carrying and saying that treating those inherited uh, preventions and stops and actually instinctive rejection, compulsive instinct rejection for which doesn't meet your exact plan, it doesn't fall right in place for you. All this can be overcome by just getting more intimate relationship in life, perhaps. But it could be perhaps overcome in other means for which I'm making this video. So yeah, so this video I'm addressing to several people, dear people who specialize in twin flame relations or twin flame union, and I'll post this to them as part of our conversation. So this is my part. I'm your son, Ozo Laktani. Thank you for watching.